WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have another single cask. This is from the Maltman. I like a lot of their bottlings at the moment. This is a Blair Athol, and this is a 11-year-old sherry Hogshead. Distilled August 2009, bottled September 2020, cask number 305648, and 302 bottles, 55.9%. And at the moment, it's only available in Germany with 80 euros. Whisky.de, Horst has this bottle at the moment still available, which is a little bit interesting because usually everything from Maltman is bought up like that over here, especially only 300 some bottles. All right, so first of all, this is very interesting. This is the color. Now, I'm going to read the tasting notes before I taste because I love them. All right, it says here, this single cask of Blair Athol is natural in color and has no chill filtration. Yay. The nose has some hints of sherry. This is an 11-year-old single cask from a sherry Hogshead, and it has hints of sherry in the nose. Hints. Yeah, it should be like, oh no. Okay, good. All right, so let's nose it. Oh, look, I get hints of sherry. I get more than hints. I get a full blast of sherry in the nose, which is good. Now, the problem that I have here is what type of sherry? I don't know. Now, hogsheads are not used in the sherry production. Hogsheads are something that is used in Scotland, not in the bodegas of Spain. So this was a seasoned cask, no problem. Now, it does not say Oloroso, it does not say Pedro Jimenez, it does not say Manzanilla, it does not say Palo Cortado, it does not say Fino, it does not say whatever else it could say. This is a seasoned cask made with some sort of oxidative sherry from Palomino grapes in the region of Jerez, extra for the whiskey industry, and therefore it does not have a classification. Now, I'm going to compare it. I actually have a friend here in Germany. His name is Peter, and his name is a whiskey channel is Whiskey Turntable. It's all in German. And he actually compared this whiskey with this whiskey with this whiskey. And then this is the McCrae's. I did not do a video in German, in English, I'm sorry, because it's a sherry bomb. No, it's not a sherry bomb. I'm sorry. It's a sulfur bomb. It's sulfur. I hate sulfur. I tasted it, I nosed it, and I was like, okay, no, don't buy this whiskey if you don't like sulfur. He called it AdBlue. AdBlue is that stuff you add to the diesel that's very practically urina. It's not good. And what he had in the middle here was the Flora and Fauna, the Blair Athol Flora and Fauna. I think it's 12 years old. Which was very good. He tried all four, and the very interesting thing at the end, he said, if I had to go to an island and could take only one of these four, I would take the Flora and Fauna. It's the best. And that said for me a lot. It said a lot about the cask choices that were made here. It says a lot about the development of whiskey at the moment here in Scotland, or at least in the European market concerning Scottish whiskies. Now, this is Signatory Vintage. This is one of their cask strength editions. This is 11-year-old. This is a 12-year-old. This is 54.4. I actually now own Signatory Vintage casks number 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think also 6. And I personally think they did an experiment, prove me wrong, of different sherry types. There's different colors. And also here, the first thing I recognize is the color difference. The Maltman is more of a red, and the Signatory Vintage is more of a brown. And the question is, what type of sherry extract, I'm using the word extract, are they putting in the casks in Scotland or in Jerez? I don't know. The question that some people could ask, and I'm asking at this moment, is could you take an old sherry cask and are you allowed to rejuvenate it in Scotland and still call it a sherry cask? Are some people maybe doing it? Are they actually putting more of a sherry extract and not sherry literally into the casks? And maybe, and this was from one of my viewers, actually a comment on the video from Peter, he said, I have the feeling as if they took sherry extract, this syrup from the sherry, it's not Paxaret, it's sherry extract, and they maybe actually flamed it in the cask to give it an extra brown caramel color. Brown color. Red color. All right, so I don't know. There's a lot of BS going on in the sherry season cask industry at the moment, and there's a lot of things going on actually in Scotland that we are not 100% aware of. I'm starting to sound like Ralphie, behind the scenes information here. Who knows? But I have to find out more and have things. These are just ideas, comments, theories, conspiracies, and so on. I have not mentioned that anyone actually does it. I've mentioned people think they might be doing it. All right, so on the nose, there is a red fruity note here. There is some wood involved here. There's a hint of sherry involved here. Now, this was a butt. I think it says actually the word butt on here. A fresh sherry butt. A butt is 500 liters. A hogshead is basically 250 liters. What's the difference? Surface ratio to liquid. So if you have 500 liters, you have very little surface contact. If you have 250 liters, you have more than double contact. If you have 200, you have less. If you have actually maybe a quarter cask with around 50, you have even less, and so on and so on and so on. I actually had yesterday someone come up to me, Jason, I bought a 2-liter cask here from Wasmund. I left this new make in there for 6 months, and I took it out a couple days ago, and it's tasted like I was sucking on a board, a lumber board. I was like, of course you. Of course you thought it tasted like that. There's way too much surface contact to a ratio to the liquid. Oh, I thought I had to leave it in there 3 years, and I was surprised that after 9 months it was so dark. I was like, yeah. All right. So that's one of the secrets, and the secret, of course, is there's an additive maturation which adds something, color in this case, and flavor, and there's a subtractive maturation which takes something out of the whiskey. And the smaller the cask, the same basically time it takes, or maybe even longer, to do this. And that is basically age and not size of cask. And so the whiskey needs time in the cask to get rid of some of those impurities and some of those things that we feel are a little bit harsh on our palate. All right, good. Nice red moments. This is not a wow whiskey. A lot of times for Maltman I'm wowed, but this time I'm like, okay. Over here, Signatory Vintage. I get some grapes. I get some over fermented grapes, and I get some burnt caramel. Oh, I forgot to talk about price. 80 euros. I mentioned this. 120 euros. So this is 50% more than this. Why? Is it the Signatory Vintage taking the money? Is it the importer here in Germany taking the money? This is an independent bottler, and they have an importer in Germany, and it's basically almost the same product, and yet it's 50% more. Is it the bottle? I hope not. What is costing all that money, and where is that money landing? I do not think the distillery sees the money. They sell off the cask at the very beginning, maybe even as new make, and then they, whoever, Signatory Vintage, or in this case Maltman, might buy it in the cask or might actually fill it up in their own casks. I'm sure you can buy totes of whiskey as well, which will be 1,000 liters, and you can actually just put it into your own cask if you wanted to. Who knows what's going on there? I need more information behind the scenes. Let's see what I get. All right, let's try this. This is 55.9. This is 54.4. Ciao. Cheers. Sorry. It actually says on the back here, and I'm going to read. The palate is creamy, chocolate-covered raisins, maybe. Sherry, pastry notes with some white pepper. There's some white pepper and there's some bitterness in here, which I was not expecting. Over here, the 54.4% 12-year-old. I can't get that fermented grape and that burnt caramel note out of my head. There is some red fruits, there's some plum, and there's some blackberry in here. If I had to choose between the two of those at the moment, I might drift over more to the Signatory Vintage, but just barely. I think if I had the Flora and Fauna here from Blair Athol, I'd grab that instead and take that. Both of these whiskeys here are not wowing me. They're not luring me into their lair and say drink more. It's like, okay, good. All right, let's add a little bit of water. Let's try these two down to about 46 to 48% on the nose. This gets a little bit more of a floral type of moment. I like it better. And I still get the burnt caramel. This is one of the few bottles from Maltman that did not actually make me excited. Is it a bad whiskey? No. There is a tartness towards the end. I'm going to give this whiskey a C minus. I kind of wanted to give it a B minus before I opened it up and before I tried it, but it's a C minus. This is not a whiskey I can recommend. Now I know why the 300 bottles have not been sold out in Germany. A lot of things that happen in Germany are on social media. It could be in forums, it could be on Facebook, it could be in WhatsApp groups, it could be in different other online platforms where people give each other a tip. One person buys a bottle and goes, "This is amazing." And then 100 people buy the bottle and it's sold out. And one person tries at the beginning and goes, "Well, nah," and then 100 people don't buy the bottle. And that's, I think, is what's happening. I'm a little bit late to the game. So this came out originally in April, and I would say don't buy the bottle. And so I'm not going to actually create a flood of people rushing to the online site and buying this bottle. There's better stuff out there instead of that. All right, finishing off with a Signatory Vintage here. With water, I like this better. This is a very, very stringent moment. My video of this is already online, so you can watch that. The video is about this one instead. I'm going to give this actually a D plus for value for money, C minus for the taste. The question of the day, what Blair Athol product can you recommend, either from a sherry cask or not? And have you tried the Flora and Fauna range, and which one was your favorite? I did actually a review. Unfortunately, I think it was only in German of all the Flora and Faunas that are available at the moment. There was 11, I think. And I ranked them, I tasted them blind, and I just gave my personal opinion to them. And from all of them, I was not really impressed. That's the way things are with me sometimes. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of American and Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Not always impressed, not with the Maltman today, not with the Signatory Vintage. Both of these are basically German exclusives. So sorry, both of these are single casks. Both of these are overpriced. This more than that, but that's the way things are. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, tell others, and write down in the comments what is your favorite Blair Athol or what is your favorite Flora and Fauna bottling. All the best. WhiskyJason here. Bye-bye.